All right, so you're diving into the world of the EB2-NIW green card.
Which, yeah, it sounds a little intimidating. EB2-NIW.
Yeah.
But it's really about showcasing how your skills can benefit the U.S.
Yeah, it's not just about you, right? It's about what you bring to the table for the whole country. That's the really cool part of this visa.
Yeah, exactly. And EB2-NIW actually stands for National Interest Waiver.
Okay, breaking it down.
It's part of the employment-based second preference category.
Employment-based second preference. Got it.
Essentially, it means this path is for professionals, people with advanced degrees or exceptional ability, and their work, we're talking really high-level stuff that's valuable to the U.S.
Okay, so you've got the skills, you've got the experience. What's next? And this is where it gets interesting. Unlike a lot of other visas, the EB2-NIW doesn't need you to have an employer sponsoring you.
Right? You don't. You can self-petition.
You can be your own biggest fan.
Yeah. You advocate for yourself. Really showcase why your work is important enough to be recognized like this.
Yeah.
This is huge for people who are doing amazing things but don't necessarily fit into that traditional employer-sponsored box.
Right, because sometimes the really groundbreaking stuff, it doesn't always fit neatly into a box, does it?
Exactly. And that's where this waiver can be so powerful.
Yeah.
It's about individual empowerment, taking control of your own immigration journey based on your merit, what you bring to the table. And in today's world, innovation can come from anywhere. It's not always tied to one specific employer.
It's about recognizing that talent, that potential, no matter where it comes from.
Yeah.
I love that. So we've got two main paths to eligibility when it comes to this whole EB2-NIW thing. I'm really curious to hear more about those. All right, so two paths to eligibility for the EB2-NIW. What's behind door number one, the advanced degree path? What's that all about?
So picture this. You're a researcher. You got your PhD from like Harvard or MIT.
Okay, impressive.
Or maybe you're an architect. You got your master's degree in Europe somewhere. But you've been designing amazing buildings for years now.
So we're talking top-tier talent here.
Exactly. Those are the kinds of people who might qualify through this path. Basically, you need a U.S. master's or PhD or a bachelor's with at least 5 years of serious work experience in your field.
Okay, so a solid track record.
Yeah, and those degrees from outside the U.S., they totally count too. Equivalency matters.
That makes sense. But I've got to ask, is just having the degree, is that really all it takes?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's a little trickier than that. It's more than just checking a box. Think of it like you have a library card, right?
Okay, I follow you.
That card gets you in the door, but it's what you do with it that really counts.
It's about more than just having access. It's about what you contribute.
Exactly. You need to show them you're not just qualified on paper. You're out there actually using your knowledge and skills, making a real impact.
Okay, so it's about real-world results. Which brings us to day number two, exceptional ability. This is where things get even more interesting.
Right. This path is about proving you're at the very top of your game. Think innovators, people pushing boundaries, making waves.
So how do you prove that to USCIS?
You've got to meet at least 3 out of 7 criteria.
Okay, lay it on me. What are these criteria?
All right, first one, it's pretty straightforward. Having an official degree, diploma, certificate. It's like proof you've got the education to back up your work.
Makes sense. Education is usually a good foundation. What's next?
Second one, work experience. Think 10 years, full-time, in your field. You've got to show dedication, a real history of doing this.
So you're not just dipping your toes in, you're diving in head first.
Yeah. Third criterion, professional licenses.
Yeah.
Doctors, lawyers, architects, you need that official stamp of approval.
It's
right?
like that extra level of, okay, this person knows their stuff.
For sure. Now, the fourth one, this is interesting, earnings. Have you been making bank? Like, seriously, good money in your field?
Show me the money.
Exactly. Because a high salary, it often reflects the high demand for your skills.
So the market recognizes your exceptional ability, even if it's not always obvious on paper.
Right. Number 5 is all about professional recognition. Are you part of those prestigious associations? Getting published in top journals. It shows you're respected within your field.
You're in the club, the big leagues.
Exactly. Number 6, awards and accolades. Think Nobel Prizes, Pulitzer Prizes, or even big industry-specific awards.
Wow. Okay, we're talking next level recognition here.
It's about those standout achievements. And finally, number 7, this is where it gets really interesting, other comparable evidence of exceptional ability.
Okay, other evidence. That sounds pretty open-ended.
It is. And it's a great opportunity to get creative. Showcase something unique that doesn't fit neatly in those other boxes.
So USCIS is basically saying, surprise us, give us your best shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love those cases because people come up with some really amazing things. Like I once saw a case, this applicant, they developed a revolutionary new technology, right?
No way.
Yeah, big tech company was using it, but they didn't have a traditional degree. Their impact, though, it was undeniable.
So it's about connecting the dots, showing how your unique skills, your experience, it all comes together to benefit the U.S. Which brings us back to that key phrase, national interest.
Mm.
Okay, so we've talked about the criteria, but now let's dive into the heart of the EB2-NIWS, this whole national interest idea. I'll be honest, this part always felt kind of mysterious to me, What does national interest actually mean?
Yeah, you're not alone. It's a core part of the EB2-NIW, but USCIS, they don't exactly give us a clear definition.
So how do you figure it out then?
Well, through years of seeing what gets approved, what gets denied, we've learned a thing or two. A strong national interest argument, it usually comes down to two big things: substantial merit and national importance.
Okay, I like it. Break those down for me. What's substantial merit all about?
So substantial merit, it means your work goes above and beyond what's considered like normal achievement.
So not just being good at your job, but actually making a difference.
Exactly. Does your work benefit society in a real, tangible way? Does it push the boundaries of your field? That's substantial merit.
So you're saying it's got to have an impact that ripples outward, not just stay within your own little corner of the world.
Exactly. And that's where national importance comes into play. You got to connect the dots between your work and how it benefits the entire U.S. Not just one industry, not just your local community, the whole country.
Okay, give me an example. What kind of work would demonstrate that broad national importance?
Let's say you're an expert in renewable energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a strong national interest argument there might be, my research is leading to breakthroughs in solar technology, which could make the U.S. less reliant on foreign oil, create tons of new jobs. See how that benefits the whole nation.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're talking about economic benefits, environmental benefits, things like that. It's about painting that bigger picture.
Exactly. It's about showing how your work contributes to a better future for everyone.
So we've covered a lot here. The two paths, the national interest, it's a lot to take in. For our listener, what are some key questions they can ask themselves just to see if this whole EB2-NIW thing might be a good fit?
It all starts with being honest with yourself. First, I'd say go back to those 7 criteria for exceptional ability. Do your accomplishments, your experience, do they line up? Or if you're going the advanced degree route, can you really build a strong case for how your work benefits the U.S.? Not just hoping it does, but really showing it.
Right, it's about backing it up.
And that brings me to the second question. Can you actually explain how your work, your specific skills and experience will benefit the U.S.? Are you making waves in medicine, pushing technology forward, enriching American culture through the arts? Be specific. Show them the impact.
It's not just about what you've done, it's about what you're going to do, your potential.
Right. And lastly, and this is a big one, are you truly passionate about your work? Because this process, it can be a journey. It takes time, it takes effort. You've got to be dedicated. You need that fire in your belly to keep going.
That passion is the fuel. It keeps you going when things get tough.
Absolutely. It's about believing in your work, knowing that you're on the right path.
This was amazing. Seriously. We went from deciphering these weird acronyms to really understanding what the EB2-NIW is all about. The two paths, the advanced degree route, the exceptional ability track, we covered it all. And then we dug deep into the national interest, which can be a bit of a head scratcher sometimes. We broke it down into those key pieces, substantial merit and national importance. But this is just the beginning. The resources we shared, those are your treasure map. Now it's time to explore those success stories. Put yourself in their shoes. Imagine yourself as the next inspiring chapter in this whole American dream story. Who knows, your story could be next.
Thank you for listening to a podcast by greencardselfpetition.com. Visit greencardselfpetition.com for do-it-yourself packets. We aim to provide the collective experience of numerous applicants who have successfully self-petitioned for their green cards without employer sponsorship, in either the EB1A, Extraordinary Ability, or EB2-NIW National Interest Waiver categories. Our DIY packets are designed to assist you in your self-petition journey.